Mothergunship's a good freaking game. You know, I would start with like well, it's had potential, let's check it out, let's talk about no, no. Mothergunship's a good freaking game. Terrible Posture Games is a bullet hell developer made up of a ton of talented guys. Joe Mirabello, and that's it. Joe made Tower of Guns, the super fun roguelike about a tower. It's a tower of guns. Tower of Guns was a cult classic on Steam with small pockets of really devoted fans. But the weapon roster was incredibly limited and Joe had bigger ambitions. Mothergunship, co-developed by the team at Grip Digital, resolved this with a weapon creator and this sort of macro-micro level roguelike thing that just absolutely works. Mothergunship is all about you rampaging through spaceships belonging to the Archivist, collecting coins and purple experience crystal thingies and leveling up your mech within each level with bonus health and energy while clearing a handful of rooms. It's usually about 8, sometimes with a boss at the end. You spend the coins you collect on gun parts or health pickups throughout the level, and all throughout you contend with massive turrets, and both parties are chucking just a ludicrous number of bullets everywhere. Now, I said it operates on both a macro level and a micro level, and it's sort of this roguelite hybrid that feels really organic when it works. You enter a level usually picking about 3 or 4 gun parts that you've picked up, or sometimes just getting a certain loadout assigned to you, but you can purchase more as you progress, and if you live to see the ship get blown up or take an Archivist data core, you bring back the coins, experience, and gun parts you collected. If you die, you lose the pieces that you brought, and you've got to start over. So there's a really good risk-reward system here, because you want to bring the good stuff because it gives you a better chance of surviving. On top of that, the coins you do earn going from ship to ship, even if you bought gun parts, are accumulated into a bank that let you buy parts from a smuggler aboard your craft for a tremendous markup, but you can get a lot of pieces you couldn't otherwise find while playing the game and going to the shops in the other ships. You can also spend the experience points you gather to boost your power armor with things like extra jumps to faster movement speed, more health, more damage, and being able to find secrets better. Mothergunship is a great game, though I do have some issues with it. Building up guns and removing pieces are accomplished through 2 separate modes you switch between, instead of just being able to select the part you want and dragging it away or right-clicking it or whatever. It's kind of a cumbersome system, but you get the hang of it quickly. You can also only carry about 100 total pieces, and if you start bringing back extras, you have to get rid of pieces you don't want. The window you do this with is the same window that you use to select parts, and it's just a really small window. If I had to pick just one thing Mothergunship's got going for it, it's the action. This is the definitive bullet hell FPS, with intensity coming from both sides in a frankly amazing, blistering manner. At the same time, I didn't usually feel overwhelmed when playing. Turrets typically only fire towards you in a very limited radius, and you're able to outmaneuver them very, very easily. Your starting movement speed is super quick, and you have a triple jump to start off with. But you can add 5 more jumps permanently through EXP crystals, and you can find tons more throughout the ship as you explore. At one point, I easily had over 20 jumps, thanks to the dice rooms. Yeah, not only are there your usual rooms full of lasers and lava and turrets and such, but like the Binding of Isaac, you also have challenge rooms and these luck-based rooms. Although these dice rooms aren't like the ones in the Binding of Isaac that shuffle around everything you have on you, these are more of a modifier that's attached to a normal room. And they're kind of generous. I entered 3 in a row that offered quadruple pickups, and even with negative effects like an abundance of lava or bounce pads, you're still able to maneuver around the room with relative ease. They're definitely worth going into. And because every challenge room I ever saw was also paired with a dice room, I actually didn't go into a challenge room. Oh well. The action does not end once the campaign is over. You have the option of 2 endless mode ships of varying difficulty, and as your runs through ships get longer, the complexity and absurdity of your guns also grows. Weapons in Mothergunship are made up of connectors, barrels for projectiles to come from, and augmentations known as caps. As expressed before, you enter a ship with just a couple pieces of your collection, but you quickly build up a pair of absurd guns that might be shooting, bullets the size of a door, a saw blade, a laser beam, a railgun, a shotgun shell, and a barrage of chain gun rounds that explode into mines, all at the same time. Every barrel extension draws more energy, so as your weapons grow, they eat up more of your energy bars, which means they'll run empty more often. It only takes a couple seconds to reload, but with a game like this, you're going to want every second you can get. You can also build a left and right gun, which are operated with the left and right mouse button. It's weird to see, the gun on the right like in every other game, and then you left click and you punch with your left hand or you shoot your left gun. Each mouse is for a different gun, which is nice. It gives you the ability to build like a shotgun or a sniper rifle in one hand and a chain gun in the other. Be able to trade off back and forth between the two. So there's a lot of flexibility there. It caught me off guard. But man, there's a lot more I could say about Mothergunship, honestly. I love the story, I love the characters and its campy voice acting, I love the soundtrack. Well, not exactly. It's a bit too understated and it's not particularly memorable, but you're always just kind of getting the sound drowned out by gunfire, so that's whatever. But honestly, all I can really say is play it. Final verdict, play it. The game's $25, and for what it's worth, it has a ton to do and a lot of charm. But if that's a bit too hefty of a price tag for you, there is a free 8-level gun crafting range that gives you a feel for how the game plays. It's not exact, you don't get any of the bosses or side quests. And every other room is a shop instead of shops being part of the combat room, so that's a bit slower, it kind of breaks up the flow. But you can still build up a gun and tear your way through 100 robots with a gun that shoots 1,000 projectiles. Mothergunship is by far my favorite game this year, and if nothing else, we at least got something great this year, which makes up for the absolute lack of great games in 2016. Here's hoping we get more amazing stuff like this throughout the rest of the, GTFO, The Walking Dead, and, maybe not that one.